Hello, this is Laurie Jones. I'm a steward with the McDowell-Sonoran Conservancy, and I'm going to walk you through the steps with your Android phone to install Maprika, a tracking app for the 3 City of Scottsdale Preserve trail maps. So if you'll see where you see the white arrow, this would be where you're touching on your computer screen. So the first step is to go to the Play Store and download the app. The Play Store, you'll go to search and type in Maprika, Maprika, like paprika. And you see here it says GPS on ski map. That's correct. So on this particular phone, we already have the app installed. But for you, typically you would click here to install the app. There's no cost involved in downloading the app. Okay, so now we're inside the app. On this phone, we already have a few of our maps installed, but I'm going to take you through the process of installing the app. Just to get you oriented a little bit, the name of the map that we have loaded here is McDowell-Sonoran Preserve. It's actually the southern. This is our white map that we have. The green map is our northern, and the blue is the central. So we're going to load those 3 maps into the app. Okay. All right, so next we're going to add the 3 maps from the McDowell-Sonoran Preserve. So we start on the plus button, then we click on All Maps. Then we have these 3 tabs. Click on the middle tab, Nearby. If you see the ones that you like right in front of you, you can select them, but I'm going to use the search to show you how that feature works. So let me try that again. McDowell. So now we have all the nearby maps that contain the word McDowell. So we need to be thankful to Dan Welker. He's the steward that has loaded the 3 city maps on and got the GPS coordinates to work. So Dan Welker's really the person who got this very useful for our stewards and for the public. Okay, so let's look for the words southern, central, and northern. Okay, so the southern one is already in our phone, but if this was you at home, you would first click on the southern region and then click the button to install. So let's look for the central. Here it is, McDowell-Sonoran Preserve Central Region. We're going to click that. Yes, we want this to install. And then we're going to view the map just to make sure that it got the right one. So remember that in this instance, because we are not near the central part of the preserve, you don't see the bouncing blue ball anywhere on this screen. When you yourself are standing somewhere in the preserve with a Maprika map pulled up, your location will be visible as a bouncing blue ball. Okay, so we've got our central map. Now let's go back and add our northern map. Okay, we click on Nearby in the middle. Okay, let's look for that word northern. Now sometimes there's more than one. Let's make sure the date is correct. So here's the northern region, and it's September 2016. Yes, that's correct. That's the most up-to-date one. Soon there will be a new northern region once the Phase 3 trails are added, but that's not ready yet. So we're going to click Install. This takes up a very small amount of data on your phone. Okay, so here you can see we have the complete screen for the Northern Preserve. There's one more that is handy. When you are crossing between the Regional Park, the Sonoran Preserve, and the Fountain Hills Preserve, there's one called McDowell Mountain Connecting Trails. Okay, I recommend that if you cross between those 3 areas, that you download this map. So you can see here we have our McDowell-Sonoran Preserve. In this very small region, you have the Fountain Hills Preserve. Too bad they didn't pass their taxes the way we did. And then here is the Regional Park. This is a very helpful map when you're either biking or walking, you're crossing between the areas. And if you'll notice now, because this map shows our current location, we have the blinking blue arrow that shows our current location. Let's add another map. Let's go to all maps, click in the middle, nearby. There's a zoomed in area on the southern trail map, the paper trail map, that shows detail level of Tom's Thumb and the overlooks. This is a relatively new update to the white Southern Preserve map. So I'm going to click here on McDowell-Sonoran Preserve Tom's Thumb Trailhead Detail. I think that this would be useful if you're a pathfinder or if you are out on the trail and you want to show someone from the public where you are and how far you have to go. The main southern map does not show enough detail to show the interval distances between the markers. So this would be the 5th map that you've added to your Maprika list. So it shows the distances between these new signs. Harris Hawk Vista, these are new signs that were put up just in the last few months. Okay, so now we have all of our maps listed. Can you see the ones we have? We have Southern, Central, Northern, Connectors, and Tom's Thumb. There are hundreds of maps. If you go to Flagstaff or Payson or Sedona, this is a handy app to have to get local trails as well. Our next trick that we're going to learn with Maprika is how to track yourself to show where you have been in the preserve. The reason you might do this is to keep track of your statistics, to post on the Facebook patrol page, to share with friends, or just to help remember for your All Trails Club which trails you've completed. So the key to start this process is the vertical 3 squares. We're going to click on the vertical 3 squares and then click on tracking. And we're going to start a track. These are previous tracks. So if you want to start a track, you click the forward button, the play button, and then the app is gathering data about where you are. In this case, we're nowhere near Tom's Thumb Trailhead, so the map is a little bit confused about why we are trying to track in a map we're not in. So let's go to the southern, okay, let's click the southern map. Aha, there we are. There we are. So now you can see we're a blinking blue triangle, and the beginning of our track is a green waypoint. So if we were moving and walking, you would see this triangle move and track along the trails. If you want to finish your track because you're back to your destination, okay, we would say to stop track. If you wanted to add a waypoint for a trail condition that needs attention for the construction and maintenance crew, or you need to make a report to patrol, this is a great way to click and add a waypoint. And this will give the team members of construction and maintenance a way to know exactly where you are. There are other ways to do that, but this is one of them. So let's click Stop Track. Do we want to save it? That's sort of your call. I typically do save them. In case I forget to log my hours, or if I log my hours and it deletes it, I do have a record of which day I went and where I was. So I find that it does not take up space on my phone, and I like having it to review. It also helps me remember how long a hike takes. So when I go and do a Granite Mountain Loop, I can go back and scan my previous tracks and say, oh, that takes me about 3.5 hours, because I can review how many minutes it took me. Let's say that you wanted to take a screenshot of your trip to post on the patrol Facebook page or to share with a friend. So you would have the map pulled up while your track was on it, and then use your 2 buttons to take your screenshot, and it will save as a picture in your photo file. Okay, so the other features that you might want to know about, import tracks would be helpful if you would like to go the exact same route that you did 6 months ago or 1 month ago, and you want to be sure that you follow the same route. You know, in the preserve, that's not as challenging because the trails are named, but sometimes you have to follow a very specific route. You would import a track and then watch yourself following along it. You can also export and email it to yourself or upload it to websites that collect information about hikes to share with the public, such as hikearizona.com. They accept GPX files. So you could export your track and then email it to the website to post in that location. Okay, so I think we've covered all the features. An example of when you might use this in real time as a pathfinder or as a patroller would be you're stationed at the north and it's too crowded over at the big map, or you know that the person wants to have this information available to them while they're out on the trail without pulling out a paper map. If they have Maprika on their phone, they can do the same thing and download the app. And they can keep track of their time and how far they have to go. So sometimes I'm asked, how far is it back to Sunrise Trailhead from here? And I can make a decent guess. I can pull out a paper map, but sometimes I don't know where I am exactly on the paper map. And so Maprika is helpful because I can show exactly where I am in real time and show the public, the citizen who's next to me, and say, here's where we are and here's how far you have to go. And say, I think you should turn around because it's about to be sunset. Okay, so I think that will be, I think that's a good basic tutorial for Maprika. And we look forward to seeing your screenshots on the patrol page and the Pathfinder page.